What up, my freaks? Ruinous Man-Thing here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt the Unclean Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we attacked and I want to say destroyed the Red Eye Greenskin faction. I'm pretty sure they're gone for good, just to double check. Yeah, they're gone for good. And had ourselves a very nice fight at Karak Ungor, defeating a bunch of giants, trolls, black orcs, biggins, pump wagons, boar boys, lots and lots of stuff basically, with Throt's army and his ludicrous numbers of wolf rats and obviously other monsters. It worked out nice, and I am hopeful to see some more big old fights like that. Otherwise, we are still very much in this turn. In fact, it's a new turn-ish, minus the tech thief, which has already moved, but everybody else has to still get to move on, so let's get started on that. You go down here, keep on traveling to Skaven Blight, Rat Burglar. Let's have you. I guess you can keep burgling from Mr. 69. Oh, I don't like that in this particular situation anyway. You can go this way, I guess. I mean, we need to move down here. All right, what's the closest? Okay, Gore Hornets hold. Still 69%. Ooh, you know, I really don't like that. If he dies down here, then it'll be such a long way to go. Alright, you know what? Maybe we'll go beside it and bypass it, maybe we'll not. I don't want to risk him dying. The chance of being wounded is 3%, which is a little bit too high in my opinion, at least right now. So we'll head southward, and I believe there was a tech that we wanted to get. I don't remember where it was exactly. I think it was here in tunnels. I was going to go for explosive mutation catalysts, but maybe we'll go for the saboteur web after all and get that hero action success chance. Eventually, explosive mutation catalysts. Eventually. Anyway, for now, that's good. And is that the last hero that needs to move? Who's Zickbolt again? Oh, right, the guy with the little pile of Skaven slaves and Hill Pit abominations. Yeah, sure. And go for Boss Kyriakin. Yeah, and to resolve this, thank you once again to the orcs for helping out and giving us the additional money and the territory. And, oh, you're still alive. Not for long. And another help it attendant. Do you have a help it attendant, sir? You do. Okay, who doesn't? Pick a lord, any lord. Do you have a help it attendant, Remamute? You do not. We'll give this one to you for now until we potentially delete you and replace you, depending on who exactly you are. Ickbold, kill. You obviously won't be able to take Erengrad like this, but that's fine. Auto resolve, yes. And hey, another Banner of Eternal Flame. That'll be really nice for our fire army. Enslave for the tiny little bit of food this time around, and then use the rest of your remaining points to, I guess, go back into Vitsi. I don't really trust you being out here. Lose the Banner of Eternal Flame, however, as that will go to Mistress Skittis. In fact, let's give it to Skittis right now. Where are you, Skittis? You're here. Oh, you actually have to move as well. Good for you. All right, so you will grab the Banner of Eternal Flame, like so. Then, before we declare war on these guys, I would like to move Mr. Pustich in underway stance right... Oh, wait, you can go here. Can Thanquil go there? Ah, Thanquil cannot go here. We shouldn't go here because it's in the territory of these guys. Not that we care that much about it, it's just that I don't want to lose the opportunity to take Grung's Stekbrud. What's the likelihood that these guys... you know what? Maybe we'll give them one turn more. Let's do this. You're going to go into ambush... Oh, okay, fine. No, you're going to go into... in-camp stance and get a little bit closer. We can spare a couple of turns moving, and then you can just sit there. I just want to see if these guys will be willing to fight or not. And if they're not, then we'll go next turn. Alrighty. Next up, we have Howl Scurry, and once again, I don't know why I started from the bottom of the list. I meant to start from the bottom of the list with regards to our building, but not our armies. But oh well. Alright, you guys move forward. Throt is on the way now, so you guys are free to move with your ludicrous piles of Skaven slaves, 3 full stacks of it. And at the low price of what, like less than 1,000 gold for the 3 armies? Alright, let's actually move Throt now. Throt, I'm gonna have you move forward to Karak Raziak. In fact, Mormal, don't bother reinforcing. Just go like this. Wait, who are you at war with? You're at war with Zufbar. We could ask Zufbar to join the war, but then Vlad would get mad, and I think maybe we'll forgo that. Alright. And then we'll just straight up regular attack them. Like so. We're not making friends with the orcs up in the mountains, and oh! I did not realize that Grimgor's Ard Boys would join this. You know what? Don't do this then. We'll risk pissing Vlad off. I mostly don't want Grimgor to move towards us right now, at least while we're taking territory up here. We'll later probably fight him just for fun, but anyway. Iron Skins, that's who we're supposed to be fighting, right? You're Iron Skins? You are Iron Skins, yes. And 2.3k, 2.4k, that's fine. I wouldn't say no to it, and I didn't. Alrighty, 2 Karak Raziak now, and we'll level you up later on. In fact, I think he was leveled, it's just that he was, he stole XP from our other stuff. Alright, like so. And auto-resolve it. And then raise it. Not for much, mind you, but nothing, and then stop moving, and then another Hellpit Attendant, Pigeon Plucker Pendant, and Mormel, do you have a Hellpit Attendant? You do. Okay, okay, I have to find somebody else who doesn't. Wait, can Hellpit Attendants only go on Lords, or... Huh, what are you? You're a Warlock Engineer. Oh, right, it's Lords and Warlock Engineers. Another reason we need more of these guys. Alright, well, Tech Thief, you can hold on to that. And now... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Huh, because Throt is in this position, how Mormel can't reach it. Because Throt is blocking him. Well, that's just rude. Alrighty, well, you're gonna go there anyway, and you know what? Go into raiding stance. Because you're gonna have to occupy this anyway, so you might as well raid this like so. It does nothing, but it will generate us a little bit of food, which obviously we want. Alrighty. Krokronid. You're supposed to be pushing up towards Erengrad, minus the annoying aspect of these armies still being around here. I guess what we do then is we will raise Milkavala, and then have one of these guys occupied, but then have the other one stick around, basically. Let's do that. Alright, so Krokronid, you're gonna do this with a little bit of auto-resolve help. Don't stalking stance, though, because it'll make you less effective. We'll move Mr. Medible Hemlock in ambush stance right down here, and we're gonna modify his army slightly so that he can fight these guys should he require it, should he need to. Oh! I see that Rastilton Gospodarov is in range of Irisara. Really? You can move through all this forest and have all of your movement range intact? It's kind of shocking. Huh, okay, well I guess then Bilefitch is gonna have to stay here, but I'm not gonna keep you in the settlement. Let's sit you outside and go into offensive and camp. Medible Hemlock, I'll deal with you in a second. Krokronid, then I guess you're just gonna have to occupy it rather than raise it, because, well, we're not gonna get much money out of raising it anyway. It's just the, yeah, whatever, just deal with it. Auto-resolve, auto-resolve. Alrighty, and Luton occupied at tier 1. And on to Erengrad, another scribe, always a nice pickup. We'll repair this at Milkalava, and yeah, we'll lose the public order, but that's what it is. Also, speaking of this place, let's go for Taskmaster's platform, and I imagine if this is going to be our border territory, Irisar will still want to use those covert choke points, and we might as well upgrade this place as well. Alrighty, and I think, do we want to upgrade Torsk? Likelihood of it being attacked, existing, but it does have a port, so yeah, fine, invest in it a little bit. Alright, and the rest of you look good to me. Do you need to spend any points right now? Frankly, you're probably going to be leading an actual proper army, so maybe we'll forgo that for now. Medable. We do have to at least slightly deal with you. Now, you have pack leader and respected and feared. Rally, let's get you stand or die. You also have whip smart, so this buffs up clan rats. Though you don't have the clan rat buffing trait, and I'm not sure you're actually going to keep clan rats in your army. And depending on how exactly this army is going to look, for now, just keep using those night runners. We should upgrade the clan rats at least to shielded clan rats, because, you know. Oh, wait. We could get you a weapon team or two if we wanted to. A moment. If this army, let me just take a quick look at the, okay, I can't select you. This was going to be our anti-leadership army. One thing that is viable with that is the contaminated ability. The contaminated ability, maybe out of a couple of rad ogres. Probably don't need this many wolf rats here. You know what, yes, we can merge these units, so we can delete one of the wolf rats. We don't need two, we probably don't even need the two in this army, but we'll pop in a couple of regular rat ogres. Always gotta have a Moulder presence after all. Like so. You start with cellular instability, you start with okay. Not great ones. But it is what it is. I can always recycle them as needed if needed. But anyway, and especially since these guys are actually vulnerable to warp lightning, so they'll basically kill themselves with it. But yes. Who applies contaminated? Wait, actually we can make anybody apply contaminated, can't we? You guys, so let me just see here. Select units, and not Weeping Blade, this. And contaminating attacks, -5 leadership, -5 melee attack. At a loss of -5 melee attack, mind you, but Rat Ogres are low in melee defense and reasonably high in melee attack in the first place, so that's fine. That's fine. So, let me just take a quick look here. What do we have in terms of... not Ashen Sorcerers, where's the Pestilent Knave? Here. You guys have contaminated. So Plague Monk Sensor Bearers do, we can make any monsters have it, and then we have Warpstone Scorch out of the Warp Fire Throwers, don't we? And then where are... okay, so... Warp Gas does nothing for leadership, though it does debuff enemies fairly decently. And Death Globe has no contact effect. Poison Wind is a sort of overtime damage effect, which is fine. And yeah, this does have some Warpstone Scorch. I could do that, maybe. I also have another idea. Wait a moment. Oh, wait a moment. I did want to get that gunnery army up and running, so maybe training up these Night Runners and swapping them to that army would be nice. That would mean Mr. Mormel, I believe, who's supposed to command that army, right? You have the Shuriken Mayhem to increase the range of the Gutter Runners, applying the poison and combining that with the slowdown suppression of the other units. And if we're going for slowdown with it, we could probably use... let me just theory craft a couple of armies here. 1 second. These guys also slow speed by a little bit. Not by much, but by enough. Alright. Okay, that's how we'll do that army. And thus, okay, that doesn't change the fact that these clan rats will become shielded clan rats. All distractions aside, they've certainly leveled up to have earned it. You guys can be clan rats with spears. And you guys can be clan rats with spears as well, so that we have spears and spears. There we go, a little bit better. Probably not good enough to fight a full stack, but maybe a smaller stack here. We do have the Rat Ogres and the Night Runners and Gutter Runners. I'd upgrade these, but I don't want to waste the money right now. Alright, good enough for now until we get the armies up and running. Skittus, you're staying where you are. We can have you raid. I don't think these guys could reach you anyway. Let's go into enemy territory and raid then. A little bit of cash. These guys can't raid, but at least somebody can generate some cash for us. And who else do we have here? Bilefitch is who again? Oh, you're supposed to be there. Alright, Remamute. You're stuck until we kill Hungrim. Alright, and the rest of that is good. So, we got building to be building. What do we have here? Southern Oblast. Alright, so main thing is the Slaughter Factory. Definitely need that additional food generation. Wouldn't say no to the growth either. And then, let's see. Yeah, we're going to wall this place up, at least for now. Eventually we'll unwall it, but, or Jakova, or Yakova, Vitevo... Or, Zavastra is part of another territory. Okay, I was just wondering. Yes, we could upgrade the Overseer's Lookout. I really do want to spend the 3.6k on this, but if somebody moves through here, they'd go either for Zavastra or Resvinhof, so it's probably best to invest in those two in terms of defenses. We will, however, also invest in Erinusgrad, and... you know what? Don't go for the Arcane Generator here as yet, but eventually. And also start collecting the income. Although if we are... you know what? If we start collecting income, that means we can build the Arcane Generator. Never mind, I lied. You. Control is fine, so we could go for the food here, but at the same time, this place might get attacked. You know, I'm going to wait on you a little bit. Dekov, yes to the public order. You're collecting income as well, meaning we will build a generator once we have more than 15 gold to be getting on with. And I believe that's it. Alright, so we can skip, and end the turn. End the turn. Gotta be honest, I completely forgot about this little army, and... can we actually win this? We can kill this guy, but how would we kill the Golden Knight? No amount of clan rat summons would help. I mean, we could watch these guys fight to the death. I mean, honestly, I am kind of interested or invested in seeing just how many units Ulrika and the Golden Knight can kill. Alright, you know what, let's bump up those numbers. We should use as much of this as we can. I'd really rather not have to come back here with a full stack. Man, these guys are being really annoying running around with these tiny little garbage armies, aren't they? And popping those heroes who... Didn't we just kill those? Huh, I guess our wound is pretty low. But anyway, go for it. All right, here we go. This is, well, this is looking like it's going to be a weird little fight. As to whether we can pull it off, well, I guess we're just going to have to see. The main issue is the fact that we have 4 enemy heroes, each on a mount as well. Though, I suppose in terms of the bear, at least, that's going to make said bear a little bit weaker due to being vulnerable to missile fire, though our ammunition is limited. We have the Golden Knight here, and... Well, now let's see. Ooh, wait, this is a big question. Is the Golden Knight unbreakable? I think not. Let me just double check here. No, okay, the Golden Knight is not unbreakable. Okay, this means that we have to ignore the Golden Knight and kill everybody else because she's just way too tanky. Huh, actually, her melee defense isn't all that crazy, but at 135 armor, it's just kind of unlikely. The Hearth Swords of Daj, or Hearth Blades of Daj, sure, they're not actually particularly threatening. They're a slow infantry unit, and while they also have massive amounts of armor at 100 and plenty of HP, they're going to be vulnerable to artillery fire, and we'll probably spend a fair bit of time trying to dodge said artillery fire. Now, our first target will be the most fragile enemy unit on the field, the Frost Maiden, partly because, well, she's a caster, and partly because of that Warbear mount, making her a bigger target. Granted, giving her more armor at 75, but hopefully with sufficient slinger fire, and we should be okay. And we've already brought her down by about 40% of her HP. The job for the rest of our units, tie everybody up, try to dodge the spells while the enemy has them. Looks like the Frost Maiden is down to about 50% HP. Trying to tie up the Golden Knight, but having a little bit of a difficult time. And we will be using both the units that we have and all of those summonable clan rats from the menace below as well. And it looks like the Golden Knight doesn't want to actually engage with those units. And we're just going to have to keep sending more and more units to tie her up in melee combat. Alright, there we go. The Frost Maiden is out, or at the very least is broken at the time. We've been continuously distracting the units of Daj's Hearthblades with a summoned unit of Clan Rats, and if they want to peel away to somewhere else, I'm perfectly fine with that. We do also have Ulrika Magdova, who's going to be the second target after the Frost Maiden. She is also a caster, but, you know, being a vampiress is going to be pretty tanky, but on the other hand, as soon as we can cripple her leadership, she's going to start melting away. Oh, wait, what do we have here? A moment. Just see here. So she has lesser hunger, presumably because... does she always have lesser hunger? Does she get upgraded with it once she gets enough points? I don't remember. I suppose it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that she's the next target, down by about 15-20% of her HP. And hey, where those... oh, the Frost Maiden came back, okay. Gotta make sure she doesn't, and then there we go. We can switch targets to Ulrika. And in the background, the Golden Knight is still fighting. It's actually lost about 5% of her HP so far. And Melkot's Mystifying Miasma comes down from Ulrika on the, I don't know, Clan Rat, Skaven Slaves, because it doesn't really matter who. They're just here to buy time. And it looks like still the Golden Knight doesn't want to engage. Still trying to use the mass of the mount to push through our melee infantry. That's kind of interesting behavior from the AI. I wonder what the purpose of this... Oh, wow, I love that shield, though. That's a pretty glorious shield, you gotta admit. Alright, the barding on the Griffin Legion and the Golden Knight in general also just looks pretty damn fantastic. Anyway, looks like Ulrika is nearly done now with a little bit of help from our Warlord, who, you know, uses the fact that we have all of these Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves to sneakily get a few hits in with his sword, cleaver, whatever it is he uses. Some kind of sword, frankly, I don't know what to call this, type of sword. With the shape that it has. Ooh, I don't know whether it's realistic either, but if it is, please let me know what it's called. Anyway, looks like the Dodge's Heartblades are moving back into the fray, now having had their time wasted, and they've become winded, having chased for pretty much 4 minutes now. That one unit of summoned clan rats, and are you really gonna not hit any of them? Okay, well, okay, one of them hit. Come on now. Next up, with Ulrika and the other caster gone, we will move to going after the enemy Zhanyka here, which is probably going to be the next most fragile unit. We can continue ignoring the Dodge's Heartblade, summoning another unit of clan rats to distract them, and then hopefully dropping a few more of those plague claw catapult projectiles on top of them. They have still only lost about 20% of their HP, but we'll get there eventually. Anyway, here comes our Warlord. It worked with Ulrika. Let's see if it works with the Zhanyka as well. Just got to keep the Zhanyka distracted, as I doubt the Warlord without any, stats is going to win any kind of fight against really any kind of Lord, whether it's a melee or a range. His stats are pretty darn weak, but that's fine. We've got the numbers to hide behind. Alrighty, and how's the Golden Knight, by the way? Down by about 20% HP now, 5 minutes in, and being distracted by 3 units, just trying to keep her back from going after our artillery, who are still needed to go after the Dodge's Heartblades, who are still at about 50% of their HP, and we're damaging our own units. We have, however, forced the Dodge's Heartblades to be distracted, and this time going to use a few of those slings to bring a few more of them. And damn, we don't have a lot of armor-piercing damage on these guys at only 4, but it's something. And this unit has unfortunately drawn close enough to where they might get to the Plague Claw Catapult or to the big blob of units here, and I think it's about time that we need to shatter and or break them. Zhanyka is still at about 75% of his HP. And the Dodge's Heartblades, cool looking though they are, with those burning swords of theirs, have no hope of catching us. And let's see, are they broken or are they trying to re-engage that unit of Clan Rat Spears? Yes, they are. Alright, well, it's working decently well for us, and in fact, the Plague Claw Catapult should finish him off. Another Clan Rat unit summoned on the field. Our Warlord's a little bit damaged, having lost about 25% of his HP, and we do definitely have to be careful about that one, as it's very dangerous for the rest of our army, with their extremely low capabilities and leadership that they might rout. Zhanyka's still in the fight at about 50%. And yeah, again, we are ignoring the Golden Knight and destroying everybody else. Come on, one more volley from those Plague Claws. Will that force the Dodge's Heartblades to shatter? You guys need to actually fire. Come on now. Oh, they managed to make those Clan Rats out, and it looks like, similar to the Golden Knight, the Zhanyka is unwilling to engage all that much. Tried to back off and towards those Plague Claws again, but the Warlord's on him. And he's down about 50% of his HP now, and Hearthblade's still kicking, eh? Alright, well, the Plague Claws destroyed the remnants of those Clan Rats there. The enemy is still fairly distant from our units of Slingers, who still have ammunition. I guess we gotta be glad that it was Slingers and not Shuriken units here, because a couple volleys and they would have been out. Anyway, tiny little bit of leadership remaining on those Hearthblades at about, what, 10%? A few more volleys and these guys will be out of the picture. And it looks like the Zhanyka has shattered as well, and oh, it looks like as soon as the Zhanyka and the Hearthblades are done, they're in by our blood, of course, but not for much longer, the battle is ours. The Golden Knight will break, having lost maybe a quarter to 30% of her HP, and though it took a lot of effort, I think we were nearly out of Clan Rat summons from the, what was it, 8 or 9 menace below we picked up for this particular fight. At least we don't have to go back here and deal with those. Hopefully, depending on how many units survive. The Dodge's Hearthblades won't, but the AI can just bring them back instantly. And there we go. Perfect. The Golden Knight, the greatest champion of Kislev. Well, second greatest champion of Kislev after Yerogni's and Naviev, of course, but defeated by sheer numbers of rats. And well, we'll see if we can bring her down. Although I'm not holding my breath because it took nearly 10 minutes to do 40% HP damage to her. Let's see if we can actually kill her off. Man, I spent literally 10 minutes at max speed with our units having surrounded the Golden Knight, and they just could not do any damage whatsoever, and that includes the Lord. I feel like there should be more of a malice, more of a debuff for units that are running away, cause I don't know. Maybe your armor is so good that you can't get, you know, somebody can't stab you through the, I don't know, through the mobile parts, you know, the parts that allow for mobility or something, but nonetheless, they could at least drown you in bodies and throw themselves. I mean, we have thousands, well, maybe not thousands, but many rats. And this means we're going to have to deal with you again. We're going to have to send one of the little Skaven slave armies, or build a Skaven slave army to go after you. Let's sell off. What do we have here? Hull Scurry gets badly mutated. Oh, Hull Scurry. It's a great trait, but I'm pretty sure you're one of the... Actually, are you one of the decent ones? Damn. I wish I could actually select you to know what traits you have, because I don't know if you were going to be deleted or not. I guess we'll grab the trait, even though it's not as useful on the assassins as it would be on literally any other kind of lord. And that could actually get a benefit out of the HP, for example. 20% is a huge increase, but without a mount and the relative low HP on the assassins, I mean, it's kind of mad, but I don't think I care enough about the other stuff that we shouldn't have the traits. So yeah, that was Hull Scurry. Bilefitch, I similarly don't remember who you are, and that's unfortunate. We could... I might as well get the trait. Alright. Master... Wait, did I get the... I got the trait, right? Well, whatever. Master Mason, badly mutated, and there we go. Research rate increased by 10%, wins a magic cost for overcast reduction. Then... we can pick another one. Vermin Z, Vermin Do will give us additional campaign movement range and the line of sight, which is pretty nice. Probably better than the Lord Recruit rank +2. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice thing to have, it's just not super necessary. We need mine shafts. I think one of us being built, but it's going to take a bit. So just keep doing this until we have enough rat force to get the chance to succeed. Are you still at whatever it was, 69? Ugh. Any lower here at the Immortals Hold? No. I really don't like that. I'll just keep moving then. If you're not stealing, keep moving. We have 5 turns of leeway. And you've actually nearly reached Rictus, which is nice. Let's see how well they're doing. Taking all bets. Anyway, Throt. I see no orcs out of here, so I believe you're free to move up northward towards Khazid Irkulaz and headed towards Ungrim Iron Fist. Mormel, you are going to colonize this place real quick. And what's our food at? 83%, just hovering around, going down to the 4th out of the 5th tier. Ooh, our first obsidian, nice. And we can upgrade you. Kirakungur, we should also grab the Taskmaster's platform, upgrade the... just do it. And... probably nothing yet, at least not super critical. Anyway, what do we have going on here? So these guys did indeed move forward. You're at war. Oh, they're not at war anymore. Wait, can you just declare war on Vissenland? You're fighting Ursun Revivalists and... No. And the Ever-Living, who admittedly you're kind of having a tough time with. Go declare war on Vissenland and now -36. Ugh. AI. Every day. You stray further from being of any use. Anyway, you have the Nurglite Plague, eh? But it is what it is, you have to die. I assume that you can still take this out, even if it's just a giant pile of Skaven saves. Oh, that's who Bilefitch was. Alright, Ambush. You lose 2 Skaven saves? Yeah, go for it, I don't care. Alrighty, and then we will get a free Scroll of Blast out of it, and then take a little bit of cash. Alright, and you didn't get the Plague. Now, you wouldn't be able to take out Valmir von Raukov, which means Kokronade would probably have to do it. I would have preferred to get him up north to Erengrad immediately, but I guess he can wait the turn. Where are you You're going for Shadovsk. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, because if you occupy... You're not at war with them, but you're probably going to declare war on them. Could we possibly turn you to another faction? Let me just think about this. We are about to declare war on Crocker Ravensfuck. Alright, let's... Okay, so these guys clearly didn't fight, so they're not gonna. So yeah, we will ask the Legion of... Well, actually, Keepers of Bliss. If we join the war here against Crocker Ravensfuck, How much for Icicle Pass, out of curiosity? And give you a trade agreement and a defensive... Yeah, it's not gonna fly. Okay, well, then screw you too. Give us your money anyway. Join war against Cracker Ravensfuck and 1.4k, sure. Alright, then could we get these guys to fight them and then maybe start moving up north instead of doing what they're doing here? Cracker Ravensfuck. 6.4. Well, we're not giving you 13k because it's absolutely obnoxious and ridiculous. We are going to declare war on Ungrim, but that isn't happening right now. Person revival is 7.3. You're going to declare war on them next turn. And it's 7.3. It's more... game. What about Iron Skins? No dice. And Vissenland and Nuln probably no dice either. Yeah, it's not happening. Alright, well, the likelihood of betraying them and taking their stuff has increased further. Alright, well, you're gonna go here right beside them. Who knows, maybe they won't take the place. Just like they didn't take the last place. We can't borrow this army, can we? Is this your main... Yeah, it's your main stack too, so we wouldn't even be able to borrow it. Well, what can you do? Alrighty, well, Crocronate, I guess you have no choice but to kill off this army, as I imagine. Well, wait, can Medable reach it? Oh, you can reach it. Yeah, you can reach it. If you can reach it, then you two can take it out together. So you go into encamp stance and reinforce Medable. Medable, you are going to attack it. I'm not going to bother with the level of these guys. This way, Crocronate can either go north or do something useful. And ambush. Please don't get the plague. And pick up the cash. Did you pick up the plague? You did not. Alright, let's get the heck out of here before we pick that up. Sword of Battle for Bilefitch. Actually not a bad sword, but those can go into other places. Metable, you are going to go into... actually... Wait, I was about to say in camp, but it doesn't look like it. Alright, go into March Stance, go into Rishsara, and then you can encamp outside of it. So that you can still collect money and then move probably southward to Torsk. What's the likelihood that these guys sally out to defend Erengrad? They got some good stuff. Is it good enough? I guess we'll find out. You can cross and besiege Erengrad. Oh, though if they sally out, we'll want a lord here to be able to occupy it immediately because it will raise it, therefore... We could probably reach it out of Vitzi. I'm a little bit wary of the... Milkalava crossing here, maybe that wouldn't work for us. No, on the other hand, anybody good, any decent lords that we could still use? We again do like the Foresight, but I think we already have 2 of those with Plague, so that's fine. Ceaseless Training is great. And I did want that for an army leader, but otherwise, let me just see here. Slave Attendants and Maniacal Crazy. No more frontline rats? Come on, game. I guess we could do the Ceaseless Training ones. Warlords are actually considerably cheaper, but I don't like any of these traits. Even as a follower lord, it's not a particularly good trait. I think we have sufficient. I mean, he could just be a temporary lord. I don't want to spend the money on the other guys. All right, fine. Let's go for the I don't know, slave attendants, I guess. Alrighty, and then hopefully. Oh, you can't reach it. Well. Damn you. Alrighty, fine, we'll get you as well. Well, that spent as much money as I wanted to avoid. Exactly, but oh well. Anyway, you can just in case construct these siege towers in Aram and whatnot. We'll see if they sally out, and if we don't, we'll just attack. Frankly, we could just attack right now, but I'd rather give them a chance. Give them a chance to actually fight. Skittus, now that we're at war with these guys, you are going to ambush and destroy this little pathetic army. And then you're going to occupy Castle Board Karag right after. Ambush and... What do we want to put these on? One will go on the Warlock Engineer, who will be standing together with the Sons of Decay and Lab Rats here. And then the other one... I mean, frankly, we should have 2 more, ideally. Should be on the Clan Rats. So that they can all do fire damage. One here. And another one there later on. Yeah, for now. Anyway, ambush this. Hopefully the damage isn't too bad. What do we have here? One of our rat ogres will get hurt, and it's the one with no casualty or punishment trait. Well, that's why I was going to recycle you. Ugh, terrible, terrible trait. Heal up. I assume you'll be able to auto-resolve Castle Board Karag as well. This guy can't reach us here, can he? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright. Audacious. Kill this. And, that's actually a fair bit. Wait, can we move in Skittus? Let's see, Thankful, I would like you to move here, not right beside it. I want to see if these guys are willing to fight you in the underway. And then Pustitch, if you... Looks like you're just a little bit too far. What if you march stance? Still just a little bit too far. Well, give it a try. Wait, in camp stance. March stance. Tunneling stance. Tunneling stance, that's right. Alrighty, and... Oh, he can reach it. Beautiful. Alright, well then the rest of that we don't care about. We'll resolve this. The warp grinders are fine, and these guys will be recycled. We'll raise the place. And then we'll reoccupy next turn with, I guess, the other guy, not this guy. Alright, and you can channel... Well, actually, it didn't really matter. And a help pit attendant and a scribe. Very nice. Wait, who got the scribe? Damn. Because that has to go on proper lords. Equipment gained is what we're looking for. Scribe. On Skittus? Yeah, that's fine. Skittus can keep the scribe. Alright. Who was Traer? Traer. Oh, right. You were here for reasons. You no longer need these. You're gonna get rid of them. They don't cost us anything, but they also don't serve a purpose here. And then that hurts your loyalty a little bit, but that's fine. You are then going to probably move into First Circle, where next turn you will begin recruiting some stuff for your army. Lovely. Gotta send another one out there after all. Skittus 2, you're still with these guys, and Dungram cannot reach you all if you all start raiding here, so I'm gonna do this. And this. And this. Beautiful. And I think that's it. No, I lied. Well, no, Remamuta's not supposed to be moving, so he's fine. Hulskery has moved. Oh, the Tech Thief and the Scout, that's right. Alright, so Tech Thief, and go through these territories till we betray the Yorks, and then Scout, you will continue on your merry little journey here. How are these guys doing? Oh, I noticed the Golgi's still alive, but he's a useless faction because we can't ally with him. We can't get any units, so he doesn't have any settlements either. Absolutely useless. How many territories does Reichland have? 31, pretty good. Visselan and Nuln are doing a lot worse by the looks of it than Nuln. Decent likelihood that they will eventually get confederated, just like the various Kislevites all confederated into one faction. Anyway, the rest of this is good, and I believe we got buildings to build, and then we can go to next turn. So, Belava, definitely go for the fruit whatever. Overseer's Lookout, and storage whatevers. And then you can grab the arcane generators. Next up, Kislev Foothills, yes to the food, and then... Yeah, screw it, build a generator. Hey, we're at 98%. Nice. We'll see how far it drops next turn, though, especially with the arcane generators that we're building. You know what, screw it. Let's just start building storage caves in these locations as well, not just military structures. Otherwise, they'll get outpaced. Fort Yakova and Viteva. Where's Voltsara? It's all the way up here. It's the safest one, but that doesn't mean that it's safe, does it? Alright, Vitevo, just so I don't have to see this, go for storage caves. If later on I decide to delete them, then we'll just delete them. This place will have to invest in the walls, just like Zavastra did, so that if Imperials come out this way, they'll have to go for one of the walled settlements. So, yeah. Navkazi, go for the Bell Foundry. I might as well upgrade the warp lightning capacitors, making good money here. Go for the storage caves, then obviously go for the construction cavern, because we have to do those everywhere. And we want to build another hidden layer. Need some more assassin capacity. Admittedly, we don't need that much assassin capacity. We could probably use more Packmaster capacity than that. Yeah, fine, go for the Packmasters then. Alright, what do we have up here? Alright, similar sort of deal. Warp lightning capacitors into Bell Foundry, into another food. We have to counteract the food losses that we have. Obviously, still build the construction cavern for the research rate, and eventually a million engineers. Warp lightning capacitors, and that's all that we got money for, minus the storage caves. Alright. And that's good enough. Any of these places start collecting money? You are not maxed out yet, you are not maxed out yet, though you're getting there, and hey, have a pottery maker. Yeah, I should have started with these. We've got cheaper stuff that we can build here. Crackadrack, you're actually good to start collecting money already, and then lovely. Correct Peak, you're technically good. Might as well. It's not a lot of money, but it's better than nothing. And the rest of this looks pretty okay. All right. Skip. Diplomacy check real quick in case there's more friends to be trading with. Hey, there's Rictus. Not willing to be allies as yet, but we'll work on it. Just out of curiosity, how was Karazakarak doing? Not so well. Interesting. After such an epic dwarf campaign, I kept thinking that it would mean that the dwarfs would be incredibly strong, but it looks like that's not the case right now. Go figure. Alright, well, that's Rictus. Let's see who else wants to be trading. We are kind of out of trading partners, potential trading partners. We can ally with Grutnik as well. There we go. Like so. Beautiful. No need for Confederation down there, at least as yet. Rictus, we could do more alliance and stuff with... Oh, you don't have any money for us. You know what, the alliance is still good because it'll make us friendlier with them. I wanted to save the money or save that to get more money from them later, but I feel like right now maybe we don't. Ferric, would you give us money? Yes, you would. Do you... You and Vlad kind of don't like each other, but hopefully not a crazy amount. I just want the free cash. And then the rest of this, I think, or at least I hope, is going to be good. Don't want to ally with any of these guys. Broken Wheel, not really. Peace with Iron Skins. We could peace out with them, but I don't really see any reason to, because we're going to have to move down there anyway. That hasn't changed. Alrighty, we got a little bit of money back from that, which is good, because we can build the cheap buildings in a few of these places, like the Cinnabar mine here. Ooh, Holoverso, you're, with all these ports, are definitely going to be generating a ton of cash later on. That's good. You can go for the storage caves. Admittedly, the Overseer's Lookout isn't what I'd call super cheap, but yeah. Maybe we should upgrade Holoverso, which is also not cheap, and go for the port. Alrighty, and then we'll do the other good stuff later. Next turn, hopefully, and turn. Oh. Should we summon another Lord? Can Bolgasgrad defend? Well, Bolgasgrad is fine. If anything, they'd go for Zhanyka again. Oh, and this guy's gonna try to go for Zhidevka too? Alright, well, we'll see how it all looks next turn. Ungrim Iron Fist declares war. Alright, well, we were certainly expecting that, so do we call allies to help? What's the likelihood that these guys betray us? Let's give it a shot. No betray. Ugh, the one time I want them to betray you. Alright, what do we have here? Another chromatic armor or copy the symbols again. Now, Skittis... Oh, this is Skittis 2. I love copy the symbols. We already have it up and running, though, and I'm gonna say take another chromatic armor. Can't have too many of those. There we go. Vermin C, Vermin Do is up and running. There's that chromatic armor. Growth of that batch available. We'll probably wait until it turns over, I guess. 2 turns now. Meaning two things. We have to check on the mine shafts and check on the kill perches. And we're at 145, so not quite there to the hero action success chance, so we'll ignore that. We can build the volatile plans, though, which takes 1 turn anyway, so that's fine. And now that we've reached Rictus... Oh, this is a lot of territory we'd have to travel through because we don't see Moors. I wonder if this is Moors. No, it's Red Fangs. And we can't get vision by trading with them, unfortunately. Huh. Wait, so they're actually allied with all the greenskins. Seems a little bit unusual, but okay. Rat Burglar. 4 more turns. Well, you won't be able to steal anything for 4 turns. Yeah, you've no choice. You're gonna have to steal from Gore Hornet's hold. Give it a try. Hopefully we can find Moors regardless of the actions here. They don't like the war with the Iron Skins, but that's their problem, man. Hey, success. Good job, Rat Burglar. Can always rely on you. Go for... I don't think anything here is helpful, so just go for whatever. Organized. Alrighty, back to the top. So, I saw Ungrim moved after he declared war on us, but it looks like we can't get to him with Throt as yet. I don't imagine he'll try to attack these armies. At least I doubt it. Remember mute. Okay, so you're gonna go here. Can Mormel reach this? Oh, again, the same issue. Alright, well, no choice in the matter then. You are going to go to Kazidir Kulaz. And I guess you'll raise it. Auto-resolve. There's basically nothing there anyway. And actually raising... Well, it bypasses the public order issue. It kills our turn, though. if we sack it and move to the other side, we'd be able to move more Mel up and still reinforce, eh? Maybe that's the best way to do it. Alright, sack. And then we'll still be able to raise it next turn, right? Dragon Helm, Artifact Hunter, nice finds, and... oh, you can't actually go past it, can you? I mean, at least not really. That does nothing for us, does it? And now we can't raise it unless we want to occupy it. Ah, screw it, the public order will fix itself anyway, it's fine, I'm just gonna occupy it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Colonize, or loot and occupy. There you go. And -3, but only for a little while. And I guess we can not immediately upgrade it for cheap either, but that's fine. Go for food, go for... well, we probably want to upgrade this place and build the Taskmaster's platform, and hopefully we can beat these guys back before more dwarfs start coming in from the north. More Mel, go right here. And the rest of you stay here, keep raiding and annoying Ungrum. He's kind of trapped where he is, so he's not going to have a good time. I see these guys did not move... ooh. Okay, so you guys did indeed declare war on this, but you didn't take Zhydovsk. We would where'd their main stack go? They had a big ol' army, didn't they? Am I crazy, or did they have a full stack? I don't see it anymore. You besiege Zhydovsk, which is actually reasonably well defended, but hopefully we can deal with it. You stay there for a bit, and our food is dropping once again. Damn, I wanted to get our food to a good place so that we could, Pyrrhic victory. Really? This? Okay, we'll have to deal with you as well. Not a big deal. So that we could go to the growth lab and then do some stuff. I see you're running from Thanquol. Interesting. Really? You had a pretty good stack here, and a pretty good stack in Grung's Stekbrud. Neither one of these, I take it, can reach the place, though. Yeah, so if we could raise it, but then watch this guy immediately take it, so I guess we're just going to have to forego raising it. Alright, but we won't forgo attacking it. We could siege it, and then this guy would probably move on in, but that might be a little bit too much for Thanquol right now. So yeah, go into Grung Stekbrud. Like so. Close victory still, it's a minor settlement as well, and probably worth fighting, so we'll fight. Alrighty, here we go. Thanquol's, well, maybe not quite an old hand at this yet, but he's done this sort of thing before, attacking an enemy dwarf in the settlement. Granted, that was a walled settlement as well, and it was a success, so I don't imagine that this unwalled minor settlement will be all that different. Still, they got plenty of decent units in this army, and those two gyrocopter units will, in particular, be worrying units to deal with. We'll see what we can do. Anyway, the artillery rain comes down, the puke green projectiles from the plate clock catapults, and then the death globes as well, quickly wiping out a unit of dwarf warriors with great weapons, and then we'll switch them to the quarrelers with great weapons right after. And of course the main host is moving in to help out with the council guard albino storm vermin in the lead. And very nice to finally see storm vermin with halberds on the field. I feel like we see a lot more of the halberdier version of the storm vermin in artwork for storm vermin in general. And it also makes sense. I'm just thinking about how the dwarf units don't have spears and halberds available to them, and I get the idea that dwarfen weapons are well, axes aren't. Well, kinda. I was about to say all dwarfen weapons are supposed to double as tools, and yeah, you can use axes to cut trees down. Although, I'm just wondering if there was an excuse about spears and halberds not being available to dwarfs as a sort of. Because they might be kind of meh in a tunnel, because they're very long range, but then Skaven have plenty of spears and halberds and all that, and they're doing just as much, if not way more tunnel fighting than the dwarfs are, just by virtue of the sheer numbers that they have, and they clearly have found it effective. Actually, an interesting question as to where they're getting all that wood for the, for all those spears and all that. Stealing it from somewhere, I'm sure. Anyway, the battle sort of continues, just waiting for the rest of our troops to move on into the city. But if a unit of Longbeards want to make its way towards us, we'll send the Screaming Bell at them. Here comes Liv the Chieftain, followed by Bone Ripper, the Bone Breaker, or Mutant Rat Ogre, rather. He's got 750 weapon strength, 85 melee attack, pretty darn solid. And Thankful, just to double check, is here at 30% physical resistance. Didn't we see him at 75% last episode? Huh. Okay, now he has one Guardian and one Loyal Guardian. Where was the other physical resistance coming? How did he ever get to 75? Curious. Well, nonetheless, not that 30 is bad or anything like that. Let's just keep making our way through these Longbeards while our Council Guard and the rest of the Storm Vermin start making their way up here. We do have those units of gyrocopters flying around. I'm very wary of them, though for once not for the single entities, but for the greater entity, or greater model number units, rather. There we go, gonna get a few volleys off on them with the Warplug Jezzails, and that's not gonna do all that much. I guess we will have to Howling Warp Gale them. I was hoping that we'd be able to do some damage. On the other hand, nice to see them drop a few bombs for a nice couple of cinematic shots on the various units of Storm Vermin, while we keep plinking away at them. Now, adding the Howling Warp Gale as well as the Warplug Jezzails, and the Poison Wind Globadiers, which are anti-large. And still, it's taken an absolute age to deal with these guys, and every shot from them is going to be a danger to our weapons teams. Now, this is taking a really long time to even damage them. They're only at about 40% of their HP after all this, and heck, we're probably going to lose 40% of their HP on the Poison Wind Globadiers before they go down. And they've dropped their bombs, dealing nearly 10,000 damage. Might need more anti-air. Rattling gun maybe, or a... yeah, Rattling gun would work. Or a... Warp Lightning Cannon. I don't know which would be the better case here. I mean, mix the artillery is also nice, and a few of those poison winds are going to go wide and miss the choppers and hit our own units of, I think, Clan Rats are in the front here, but that's all good. Alrighty, one of those units is finally down. We'll switch to the other one, while over on the left flank we are in the midst of another fight. The Storm Vermin, Clan Rat, and summoned units of Wolf Rats are going after a big old pile of Longbeards, Dwarf Warriors, Thunderers. There was a unit of Quarrelers in here as well. No, actually, it was just Quarrelers, not Thunderers. Thunderers are all the way back there. But we'll get to them. In the meantime, we make our way towards the center of the enemy map, and we will move other units into support. Here come the Eshin Triads, who I think we should probably mutate to give them the additional 20 or 30 armor, was it? And going from 20 to 50 will be a pretty big deal for these guys. And whatever the physical resistance we can offer them as well. Anyway, Clan Rats, Wolf Rats, and Storm Vermin fighting together against the Longbeards, and nice little volley from those Thunderers as our Eshin Triads move on in the background. Hopefully they'll get to them before taking too much damage. And unfortunately, the proximity of the Longbeards here meant that the Longbeards were able to spot the Eshin Triads, rather than allowing them to sneak upon the Thunderers. So frankly, pretty darn solid positioning out of the Thunderers in the from the enemy. Anyway, here come the Triads. Just as the Death Globes move on in, we'll lose a few of the Triads as well, but that's a big old volley, and the Thunderers are pretty much done, even though it cost us half of the HP on the Triad unit. We're going to back them off, as it seems to be faster to just kill off the Triads with the Avalanche Mortars instead. I'm going to activate the Death Frenzy upgraded as well, overcasted with Thankful, while Thankful himself has led the main bulk of the host here to victory against the units guarding the center of the enemy settlement. There is still a Lord running around here, but the balance of power has shifted to about 90% in our favor, and the battle is very nearly ours. Just a little bit more work from the Eshin Triads, which are helping out by applying that lovely overwhelm. Wait a moment, that's not overwhelm. Okay, that's overwhelm. What did I just see? I saw something else. Contaminated, maybe? Something probably from a spell. Not that it matters over much. There we go. The Longbeards are pretty much... Well, actually, this one's actually in still pretty good HP, but not for long, I'd wager. Thane has pretty much been defeated in the press of units. How many units are in a Stormvermin roster? We got 100 in the Council Guard. That's pretty good. Alright, and just to help him out a little bit, we're gonna drop a few death globes on the blob of Longbeards, and there we go. With that, they will shatter, and the battle is ours. Lovely. Alright, there we go. Certainly took a little bit of effort that time. We did take a bit of damage, and those darn gyrocopters. 135 kills, 19,000 damage, despite all of our range units, both of the anti-large poison wind globadiers and howling warp gale reducing their missile resistance and their ability to dodge, and the warplock Jezzail's firing at them. It still took absolutely ages to bring a single unit of gyrocopters down. Might warrant a warp lightning cannon in this particular army then, because otherwise it seems like we're going to have trouble with monstrous infantry and monsters. At least that's the way it seems. Nonetheless, well done to Thanquol. We are going to, I guess, just straight up loot and occupied. We can't back off. Well, we could sack it and just occupied. He's just gonna go into this territory promptly to get killed by that little Slaneshi army, I bet. There's another Scroll of Blast. Fadereif has a Brood Horror. That's one of these guys. Yes, yes, good. Frankly, both of you will use those. And Boil Roke has that Plague Furnace now. It would actually be nice to have two of those in this particular army. But anyway, Grung, Stekbrud, do we bother investing in you? I mean, we might as well start up on it, and we'll see if it falls to something. Anyway, you two can now move, since you're better off healing. You can go in and... No, I meant raiding, or encamp rather than raiding. You can go like this. Make sure to heal, and then plus that you can just stay nearby, sort of. Not that anybody can attack you from here. Infectic, oh, you're back once again. This place is tier 3 now. Ain't no way it's gonna fall to rebels until we betray and kill Azag. He's served his purpose as a buffer stack. I also like that it seems that the greenskins are building decent troops. We keep seeing trolls and giants in their armies at the very least. And then last episode we saw those biggins and blackworks and such, which is a pretty good sign. Anyway, Crocronid, you're gonna fight in a second. Treyr, you're going to be recruiting as soon as... yeah, in 3 turns. We'll get you your... Doomflayers, amongst other stuff. But yes. And probably have to figure out what kind of Moulder monsters are going to have to go on in there. Anyway, that was Treyr. Who's after Treyr? Skittis 2, you're staying where you are until we deal with Ungrim, Bilefitch, and Medieval Hemlock. You guys... I mean, I guess we could send Bilefitch southward. He still has a good trait, so he will eventually have to command a proper army. But for now, maybe sort of hover around the borders of these territories in case we have to deal with them. Medieval, however, you're in kind of a proper force, and I'm going to say we'll move you up here. Around Milkavala. Can you encamp stance near it so we don't lose out on food? Yeah, sort of. Alright, do that then. And our food is at 98%, which is pretty solid. Wait, this guy can reach this. Why must you lie so often, game? Why would you do that? What we want to then do is go to Flesh Lab. And then there's 2 things that we want. A, growth juice gained from battles is nice, so we'll do that, confirm. And then the other thing that I wanted was not genetic fitting, an augment supply to growth batches. Could be potentially nice, but really I wanted this. Ward save 10% for units with 4+ augments. Though at 75 food, it's a little bit expensive right now. Anyway, now we just have to get the food back to where we were. So Crocronid, I guess that's you after we level everybody up. Mr. Russian Sorcerer. Oh, I haven't checked heroes in a bit. We should also do that. Let's get you a Warp Fireball, and we may as well get you a... well, I was about to say get you a regular Fireball. Oh, wait, do we have any spare... we have one more Hell Pit Attendant. Huh. Oh, it's Warlock Engineer, not Sorcerer. Okay, well, screw you too. Also got to put these engineering students in Lord's armies that could use them. You can have a bell polisher. Beard thing, sacrifice, it's all fine. Alchemist. Huh. Alchemist applies poison. You have... Oh, you already have poison on your range attacks. We could probably apply poison to one of these guys. This Warlock Engineer has Shield Breaker to help out these guys, so I think he's fine as he is. But I'll think about the other stuff. Anyway, I'm going to say... Warp Star as well. Let's get Toxic Rain, Skitter Leap. We should max out Veil of Shadow so we can at least overcast it. But in case you get attacked, maybe we'll start with Rat Karuta just in case. You are going to max out Increased Mobility. You little assassins are going to go for Slippery now, as you have been kind of forced into the melee a fair amount at this point in the game. And then you, Krokronid, you have moved through your red line, so let's get you Scarred Vet, I guess. It's really not that much for you. You know what, actually, let's get you Piercing Shots. You're in range attacks most of the time. Anyway, time to fight. Go. Alrighty, here we go. The enemy may have decided or deigned not to sally out against us, but, well, that's alright, because it allowed us to build those siege towers, so we're going to be sending our Night Run, or Gutter Runners, I guess, up the walls, and, well... hopefully defeat the infantry up there. The enemy does have 2 units of Zargard, which, you know, a horrible disparity in melee combat between the two, but, well, we'll see what we can do. And in the meantime, as the towers move on in, we'll support them with fire from our Skaven Night Runners, Gutter Runner Slingers. I have to go through all the Slinger units to remember which one. And I wanted to try something. I decided to put the decoy unit on the ram. I was curious to see if this would work, and it looks like they can push the ram, but it only sort of partially works. The reason being that as soon as the decoy disappears, it counts as if the unit was destroyed, which means that if the unit is destroyed, the ram gets auto-destroyed as well. So the ram is going to pop in 50 seconds, just before it reaches the gatehouse, unfortunately. Not a big deal, but I wanted to make sure to test it out. I guess what you can do is have the decoy abandon the ram, like drop the ram, rather than disappearing right as they're about to disappear themselves, and they can then push it towards the gate. Anyway, we're softening up the enemy up on the walls. Looks like a unit of Streltsy is firing back at us, but it's a lot of slingers firing at them, and enough of those little sling bullets will make their way through the crenellation to, well, behead some of those Streltsy. I reckon decently well. But really, it wasn't the Streltsy or the regular Kossars that we were concerned about in melee. Armored Kossars and Zargard alike are going to present a heck of a issue for our unit of Gutter Runners. They have solid melee attack, but their melee defense is extremely low, and frankly, their weapon strength is pretty darn low as well. So we'll see what they can do. On the bright side, as long as the enemy is milling around up here on the walls, we can still provide additional support with our slingers. Anyway, there we go. Our siege towers have arrived. About time we take a little settlement by storm like this. Would have been nice if they, you know, chucked a few of their shuriken as they moved out of the siege tower, but oh well. All over the wall, the siege towers are disgorging their Gutter Runner cargo. And hopefully we can set up a few of these guys on top of the wall to fire down on the enemy below, though from previous battles with these guys, the shuriken don't seem to be very good units for checking their projectiles down on the enemy below. These guys are doing it, but how well remains to be seen. Maybe it's only the first line that can do it? I'm not sure. What I'm saying is the slingers are much, much better at this. Yeah, see, there's a lot of these guys moving around down there, and like the occasional rat will chuck a shuriken, but 90% of them are just going to stand there and do nothing. But hey, now we know. Another one of those things to test out. Anyway, Zargard and Armored Kossars are in the fight up on top of the walls. We have started to take damage on the Gutter Runners, who are down to about 50% of their HP, but our single entities have at last broken through the gate. The decoy may have disappeared, but the 3 assassins and 3 brood horrors again, I really like the team here, are gonna do plenty of good work. Admittedly, and obviously, it would be more effective to use 3 Packmasters rather than 3 Brood Horrors, and the only reason I did that was I didn't want the army to feel too similar to other armies. I gotta have the Brood Horrors, the regular Brood Horrors, in at least one army, even if it would be better to use Packmasters. Anyway, the bounce power is at about 70% in our favor. The enemy Snow Leopards, and both of the Snow Leopards, have made their way forward, but are now being focused down by our 2 Assassins and Master Assassin, and the Eshin Sorcerer is down here as well, trying to help out. Gotta be careful with the little guy, but he can cast the Armor of Darkness as needed to armor everybody up. Frankly, that spell alone makes me want to take an Eshin Sorcerer in pretty much every army, so we'll probably get at least a few more. Especially any army that's reliant on clan rats, ogre monsters, Moulder monsters. Well, there's a lot of poorly armored stuff in the Skaven roster, and it's always a good thing to bump that up. Anyway, looks like the enemy Boyar has actually been defeated up on the walls. Looks like the shurikens are actually being chucked at him. Ooh, and he loses his head, just like the Streltsy that were up there. Didn't even need the help from the Ixchus Triads. Very nice. Alright, the balance power has shifted to about 85% in our favor. The Snow Leopards are still in the fight, because I tried to peel away the Assassins in order to go after the Boyar, but it looks like it wasn't needed. And we'll just kill off the 2 Snow Leopards rather quick. They are going to be fighting together with this unit of Zargard with great weapons. Hard to see though they are because of those Skaven nuts all over the place, but it is what it is. And there's the Assassins zipping around in the background. Kind of hard to spot, but, you know, they're Assassins. Kind of makes sense. And here come the Brood Horrors to help out a little bit as well. Time to get the Slingers up on top of the walls as well. If the Shuriken units are not particularly good at using their projectiles from on top of the wall, the Slingers will be much better, so we can get these guys off where they can have an easier time throwing their projectiles around, and have the Slingers sling their weapons down below. Alright, come on. Use your range attacks. The armored casters are right there, please. Oh, these guys have issues in the settlement. And now, of course, we brought that unit down, and then immediately these guys climb up. And now they're fighting Slingers in melee, which are going to be a fair bit less effective. But it's all good because the enemy army is pretty much done for. The 2 Snow Leopards have dropped as more and more of our units have made their way into the enemy settlement. Another unit of Zargard here holding back, attempting to hold back the tide, but in vain. As head after head gets lopped off by range fire. One last unit of armored Cossars coming in. And these guys are deceptively fragile due to their relatively low HP at 12,000. Almost on par with Gutter Runners, which, while they are heavily armored, obviously, again, fairly fragile. And there we go. Pyrrhic victory for the Urson Revivalist. Yeah, well, this has been a bug that's been going around for a while, either way. A nice little fight and a solid victory. Alright, there we go. Solid work from Kronid's army. Admittedly, we took some damage on the Shuriken units as they were forced to go up the walls and fight in melee, but admittedly with the siege towers that the enemy so kindly let us build, it wasn't that much of a problem. We will get an okay amount of money and food for this. Let's hope that we can raise it for... yeah, 4.6k, it's something. We gotta re-up it anyway, or recolonize it. So raise and stop moving. Oh, he didn't move. Wait. Because you didn't move, can you... you can immediately recolonize it yourself without having even to use another one of the lords. That's funny. I'm going to say... wait. Would we be able to immediately build the Eringrad Harbor at tier 3, or does the harbor start ruined? I don't know. I'm kind of disinclined generally to risk the food like this because it's a lot of buffs that we'd be losing, but I want to see so that I know for the future. So we'll colonize it at tier 3. Like so, and yeah, it starts ruined, so we don't save anything. I wanted to build the Youngred Harbor at tier 3, but oh well, not a big deal. Another Hill Pit Attendant, nice, another banner of something that I didn't see because I clicked away too quickly. And let's go for the Taskmaster's platform, and then I guess immediately the Arcane Generators. Oh, the food consumption is going to be iffy. It's going to be a bit before the territory starts generating a lot of money either. Maybe we're okay. And, oh, I completely forgot about Kamish. Why didn't I send one of you guys down here? You know what, you go to Kamish before somebody else steals it from us. And then you can move towards Krokroniden and follow him. We can also raise the... Well, actually, we don't know where that main stack is. You know what, stay here and in fact... Well, don't leave because this guy could have moved somewhere. I just want to make sure that we capture this entire province without having to deal with the Gloomfang. Anyway, we'll deal with you in a bit. Let's see who else needs to move this particular turn. So that was Krokronid, that was Skidai Sabsit. You guys are still waiting on Ungrim, Aramamute. We'll see how Ungrim reacts to this. I just want to make sure that we get his defeat trade on Throt rather than somebody else because it's a really good one. Inkbolt will fight in a second. Kalkeek, you're stuck where you are. Tech Thief. You can steal some tech. 55%? Oh, you're gonna immediately die, ain't ya? Guess we're about to find out. Good luck. And moment of truth. Hey, failure, not an immediate death. I'm shocked. Scout, you are getting closer and closer to the other raddies. Good for you. Alright, let's do some building, and then we'll fight once more. So we'll start from the bottom of the list again because there's a lot more sort of cheaper buildings that we need to build. Frozen Coast, for example. Food, yes. Overseer's Lookout, yes. Collect income, yes. Underdocks, yes. Overseer's Lookout, yes. And Die Maker, yes. And I guess since we're collecting, we can start up on the Arcane Generators. This place will be generating solid amounts of cash, and yeah, frankly, all these port territories would be good, but anyway. Now we're generating good enough money to start recruiting armies again, which is great. Southern Oblast. Yeah, we're still gonna have to build a defensive structure at Voltsara. Temporarily, mind you, but still gonna have to. And you are collecting income, but for now, let's build the food. And I'd like to upgrade Fort Jakova or Yakova, but... just do it. I was gonna say it's too expensive, but it's whatever. Karakungor. Your public order is actually negative. Oh, let's not do anything there then. At least not right now. Erengrad, you will build up the... Screw it, just build the generator. I'm just gonna have to see it every time and think, oh, should we build it? Should we not build it? Whatever. Let's go for the fruit storage here and another Overseer's platform. And nothing else can be afforded. Anything else? Let's go for you. 900, you, 9... Well, both of you together 900, and we're good. Alrighty. Now, some of the smaller provinces will probably switch to food generation. You're already in food generation. What about you, Vetsen? You're a 2-settlement province. You're probably one that would be good to go for food generation. So food generated 10. Really, any provinces that are only 2 settlements like this, screw the tiny amount of income, generate food instead. This place is actually okay due to the presence of the port. It's nearly 1,000, but it's still not that much, so let's go exploitative planning for you as well. You will eventually make a ton of money, so not you. You can also go for the storage caves. And then you two are fine. And basically, if we complete any new territories, like this one, someday, then we'd be able to collect food there as well. Just to counteract all this. Anyway, now we gotta fight with this. I assume we have to fight. There were some decent enemies there. Yeah, let's just go on in. I'm sure we'll be fine. We got help at abominations.
Hornet rats will.
Alright, here we go. Ickbold's gonna continue commanding this army, at least for now, at least until he reaches rank 13 and gets us that Ravenous expansion. But it is an army that, with the couple of battles that it's had, I've already grown to enjoy very much. Just the piles of Skaven slaves and Hellpit abominations, and it'll get stronger when we get a Lord that commands the army and gives the Skaven slaves more army, and then evolve the Hellpit abominations to do more things. Give them all Warp Lightning, give them all that mini Mortis Engine effect, probably pop the Thing abomination in here as well, and it'll all be good. Anyway, and going directly for the enemy army with our main host, while our 6 units of Skaven slaves that have a Vanguard deployment and a stock on them are going to hit the enemy army in the back. Probably going to want to put a Vanguard deployment in stock on a couple of the Hellpit abominations as well. Actually, don't remember if they can get stock, but definitely Vanguard deployment, so that they can stay with the other units of Skaven slaves. Anyway, there we go. These Skaven slaves have arrived, tying up all of the enemy range units immediately, and then the Hellpit abominations barrel into the enemy front line, while our piles of stalking Vanguard deployed Skaven slaves are getting ready to join the fray, to tie up the enemy range units or force them, the cavalry in particular, into combat, and also make sure that all of the enemy units are surrounded. Not quite pure numbers, perhaps, as yet, but, well, it's not like we're using any casters in this army as yet. Oh, I should probably get a caster in this army, now that I think about it. If it's going to be a Skaven slave army, it could really use... Actually, it could probably really use 2 casters. Huh. Which lore would be better for this army? The Eshin lore with that Armor of Darkness alone, the 50 armor and missile resistance would be really good. Frankly, it would also be really good for the Hellpit abominations, so there's that. On the other hand, we have Death Frenzy on the lore of Ruin, and then the lore of Plague has the Bless with Filth, which would also be really helpful with these guys, buffing up their damage by giving them additional armor-piercing damage, and then also physical resistance. And then Wither to debuff the enemies. Huh. Lots of options. I'll think about it. The Plague is probably one that we should have in here just to have the Plague Furnace as well. It'll add another little Mortis Engine effect to help out the Abominations, and we can also use Vermintide to summon additional units on field, which if we choose not to use Packmasters in this army, would be helpful as well. I'll think about it. Either way, the enemy army is in bad shape. The bounce power is at about 90% in our favor now, and they're all surrounded and getting obliterated by those Hellpit abominations. The abominations sort of freely move through the pile of tiny infantry below, which allows them to work on whatever targets they want. Lovely. And, surprisingly, it looks like not a single one of our Skaven slave units actually shattered or routed in this particular battle. Granted, a lot of them lost about half of their HP, but they're gonna lose at least half of their HP in pretty much every battle they fight. That's fully expected. Anyway, with that, it looks like the last of the enemy units will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Very, very nice. Alrighty, expecting great things from this little army. Alright, there we go, and oh wow, only a 1-to-1 ratio of kills, one enemy for one Skaven slave. That is a heck of a bargain, especially considering this army is quite literally 80% Skaven slaves. Well, actually slightly less, but anyway, the 75% Skaven slaves. There we go. Anyway, good work. And we will, I'd love to raise it, but we're gonna have to loot and occupy it, because we don't know where the rest of the enemies are. And I want this entire territory, well, the territory in its entirety. Oh, wow, you're immediately able to upgrade Irongrad to the next tier. Do it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks to the Conquest giving us a +2 to the territory. Also, you can go for the food storage caves. Alrighty, and I still don't understand where that other army went. It didn't sack this place. I just have to pay attention to wherever they're going, and then we have to get somebody over here to Zhedevka. In fact, you go for Skaven slave spam, at least at the moment. Might as well do something with it. Alright, and I believe that's all we got. We got no money remaining, we got no moves remaining, and thus we can end the turn, so we'll skip and end it. Alright, well, we didn't go back all the way up to green. We are at 71%. Okay, gonna have to wait a little bit and get some food. -6 loyalty. I think it's a little bit much. Demand a steak. What about you? Control +2 at the cost of 3 loyalty. Maybe that will be worth it. Yeah, fine. Spread counter rumors. Most of our places are good in control, but might as well make them even gooder. Alright, Scheme of Doom performed, Clan Rictus. So speaking of schemes, we got 2 turns, 2 turns. Ooh. Start with the Warlock Engineer or the Dominating Scheme. Gonna have to think about that one. And we can expand again in 6 turns. Okay, Volatile Plans is up and running. Growth Vat Batch available. Good for Growth Vat Batch. And if we go here, we can now grab either Scary Nature or Expedited. I'm going to say Scary Nature for the immunity to diplomatic trespassing. Frankly, the rest of these, other than can't CC, are kind of terrible, but we might as well get them just to complete them. Completionism's sake and all that. Where are the mine shafts being built? Okay, so we got 2 more turns for that, and we also needed to build spy nests. So let's keep going through deep burrows for this one. And then the other thing that we wanted to build, if I could just okay, here. Mingle, Elgal. We need to build Rat King here, right? Yeah. Man, I think it's Rat King. We are at plus 125 discoverability. This is at -75. I guess we can indeed build it. Okay, I just want to double check though. Rat King and Spy Nests are the ones that are missing. We have deeper tunnels, Spy Nests. I don't remember where. Wait, was that the thing we were constructing just now? I think that was, yeah. Alright, so build the Rat King here temporarily. We're going to delete it immediately, assuming that I can remember to do so, but yeah. And then we'll build other stuff. Lovely. Okay. Looks good to me. Throt, still at 19, and oh, right, let's check on the Pack Masters and their capacity. Any new ones? Pack Hunter and Musk of Bravery. Hey, the capacity is starting to rise again. Good. Are you able to reach Ungrim from here? You are indeed able to reach Ungrim. Alright, beautiful. Go to our Anrak. That's where we've been trying to get to. And Mormel, are you able to... you won't be able to colonize it, but one of these guys will, so it doesn't matter. Pyrrhic Victory, is this a minor settlement? It is not a minor settlement, it's a field battle. Alright, I am quite interested to see how well we can do against Ungrim. We only got 1 point. Let's grab the spoils, but then otherwise we'll hold off on getting any other traits for now. Wait, income from post-battle loot plus 30. Did that actually increase at all when Gorich added his thing? Does it matter that much right now? Probably not. Yes, go fight Ungrim.
Fight for Moulder Clan! Fight for Throt!
Alrighty, here we go. Didn't want to end the episode before we had the chance to fight Ungrim Iron Fist himself, and to do so, we are absolutely going to take advantage of the mobility and Vanguard deployment that we have here. Mobility being probably the greatest weakness of the Dwarven army, and we have it in spades. We have Vanguard deployed our units that can Vanguard deploy in 2 separate blobs. The pile of monsters is attacking this flank where all the enemy... where the enemy unit of Iron Drake Trollhammers are concentrated, just to tear them apart, while the Radabolic Steroid Swole Patrol, basically all the Rad Ogres, are moving in over on this side, where all of the enemy Quarrelers and such are largely concentrated, and their artillery as well. Unfortunately, again, it's kind of bizarre. We don't have Vanguard deployment on any of our Lord and Heroes at all, while the entire rest of the army can Vanguard deploy. But it's just one of those things. Oh well, and here we go. Throt has charged forward towards Ungrim, but rats don't fight fair, so as soon as he reached him, he immediately summons a pile of rat ogres to surround him as well, and Ungrim rapidly starts losing his HP, dropping by about 30% so far. Gonna get a nice few volleys from the enemy Thunderers into Throt or the other rat ogres, but we'll tie them up by summoning those lovely wolf rats on the field. Over on this flank, the monster charge has pretty much obliterated most of the enemy units here, though Garogrim Iron Fist is still very much in the fight, and we do have to be wary of him because he's a beast. Alright, there we go. Morsktar's Hellion doing a pretty good job by the looks of it rather, though we do once again have to be wary of the Slayer pirates. That said, the enemy was a little bit too reliant on range units on this particular army, and most of them are tied up. Throt has nearly defeated Ungrim by burying him in a pile of rat ogres here. And that's actually a fairly effective combination. More effective than I was expecting it to be, mostly because when I've engaged with Ungrim in the past as a foe, he's pretty much at all times been extremely difficult to bring down. But I guess a single unit of rat ogres, a few wolf rats, and then Throt himself, they do good work. And old Ungrim's final blow will bring down a wolf rat, which is not too much. Out here, Garagrim is still in the fight. He has nearly killed off one of our packmasters. Actually, not one, but two. These guys both were fighting him and are down to about 20% of their HP. And Cuddles is also fighting him and is now down to half of his HP as well. Poor little guy. The best way to do this is to just bury units like this, especially Slayers and Wolf Rats, because the lack of armor and such and lack of melee defense means that we could bring him down. And frankly, I should have done that from the start, but it'd give a pretty epic doom to Garagrim Iron Fist. Then with his fall, the last of the enemy units are shattered, and only one unit of Slayer Pirates remains in the press of Rat Ogres somewhere in there, but it won't be around for much longer. There we go. A very nice fight, and that defeat trait that Throt's been hankering for is now his. Ooh, alrighty, lots of XP, money, growth juice for all that, and Mr. Ungrim was defeated. The summons of the clan rats, or not clan rats, the rat ogres on top of his face did not end well for him. However, Garagrim was an absolute monster, getting 108 kills and 23,000 damage with a massive amount of gold value, 3.6k, significantly higher than any of our units, as he nearly killed two pack-masters and heavily damaged poor Cuddles here, one of our Hell Pit abominations. Absolutely amazing job from Garagrim out there, and a solid work out of several of the other units. These Slayer Pirates getting 110 kills and 15k damage. As for our own units, let's see, we've got 15,000 damage, giving Soul Patrol the crown for the Rat Ogres, at least of the regular variants. Looks like the Morsktar's Hellion did a Ratatouille here, and Cuddles versus the other Hell Pit oh, alright, I was gonna name you. Did better, considerably so. Huh, what the heck? Why did you do so little in this particular battle? Just you wait until we give you that, you know, extra damaging trait that we will via the growth juice. It's just that Throt doesn't really need it as much right now as other faction or other armies do. Anyway, we will raise the place. Like, oh, why would you move this way when you came from this direction? Ugh, game. But anyway, this is why I was so gung-ho about getting Throt this defeat trait. It's a great one. Melee attack, missile resistance, physical resistance. Don't really care so much about the spell resistance here, but so solid. He's got 30, and then Gorge gives him another fair bit as well. Oh, actually, speaking of spells, you were losing mana again, so let's get that back. Dawnstone up and running, and which is the weakest army? I believe that's a U. So go and grab our Unrack and colonize it at tier 1. I like that. Alrighty, and that completes the territory, meaning we can go expansionist planning and build stuff up real quick. Let's also go for the nest layer here, and this place will also... Oh, you know what? As I said, we've started to build the storage caves in those places as well, so we might as well. You guys have to switch to encamp stance so that we don't lose out on... public order because we raid our own territory. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that we fought Ungrim before we ended this particular episode, so I think this is now the time to call it. Next time we'll finish up with Uskul Agdreng. There is still probably a fair amount of territories down here belonging to Karakadrin, but we're heading down there shortly ourselves, and we will deal with it when we get down there. Otherwise, we have pretty much destroyed southern Kislev, and we'll be looking to move north. There's a lot of enemies up here, potentially. Here, there's also... Actually, I do wonder whether we need to bother with Norska. Maybe we'll go down the coastline and then head to the Empire instead. with a couple of our new armies. We'll also have to figure out what our goals are going to be for the particular campaign. I don't really care about the long victory condition because it's kind of an iffy one, because this is old world and a lot of these are just all over the map, like all the way at Stekbrud. The easiest way to do this would probably be, well, then again, it actually works for military allies. Well, really, we need to send scouts out and find everybody as well. But otherwise, we'll have to figure out some kind of goals that we're going for, since short victory... Well, we still have a fair ways to go for short victory, as Borsursus still has 26 settlements and is still strength rank 14 after losing so much stuff. Huh, go figure. Well, good for him. That's definitely a big part of our victory condition. Anyway, how are you losing public order? Isn't this your capital? Huh, I guess you don't like the climate that your capital is in? It's a little bit odd, but okay. Yeah, we'll deal with that next time, as well as all the other stuff that we have to deal with. So stay tuned for more rats. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.